Tonight we're going to take a little different look at stress and its impact on our lives than the way the culture usually looks at stress. And we're going to start to identify how stress is created and the role that it plays in our lives, and how absolutely necessary stress is. Because without stress, there wouldn't be life. If you didn't have the stress of thirst, you wouldn't drink. And without that signal and not drinking, you die with the lack of water. If you didn't have the stress that comes from the feelings of sitting on the tack, you wouldn't get off of the tack. So those stressors are necessary. And we find that there are two different qualities of stress, one of them constructive and one of them destructive. And we want to look at exactly how those stresses are created, exactly how the mind produces stress, so that we can take charge of that process. A lot of times our culture is set up in a way that creates stress in us, or at least that triggers stress in us. We're trained into those stresses, and we find ourselves thinking things that we'd rather not think, saying things we'd rather not say, doing things that we'd rather not have done, and not realizing why that is. And I'd offer that the reason why we say, why we do what we do, is because we have stressors that promote and create those behaviors. What you'll find ultimately is that the human mind is a stress management device. The human mind, there are theories that say the human mind, does what it does to protect its ego and do all sorts of things. And in reality, what it does is it very, very well manages stress. And we'll see that there are different states of mind that you can come from in managing your stress. There are two states of mind in which, in attempting to manage stress, you will find that you continuously increase your stress. Your behaviors will produce more stress. And then there's a frame of mind, a state of mind, in which your mind can accurately guide you to reduce your stresses. And we'll look into some ancient teachings and how they referred to that process of managing your stress. Has anybody here got someone in your life that if they would just be different, if they just change, everything in your life would be wonderful? Anybody have someone like that? Okay, so we've got lots of yays on that one. Well, have you ever, in trying to avoid that person, has anybody ever taken the geographic cure where you go to the other side of the country where people will be different, and then the person that picks you up at the airport finishes the sentence that the person that dropped you off started, and there's your stressor again? What's the game? What's happening here? Well, as you understand how this mind is managed, and we're going to come from some ancient teachings in looking at this process of producing stress and reducing stress and managing the mind, and what are the laws that govern that process.